Welcome to Darshan America, folks. We come to you from Washington, D.C. My name is Ramesh Bhutani.
And I'm Aastha Verma.
And this is a Memorial Day weekend. We wish you the best of it. I hope you enjoy the sun, the water, and everything in between. What a weekend.
I've already gotten a head start. You know, Memorial Day weekend is the unofficial start of summer. Even though summer starts somewhere in June, Memorial Day is really when you kick it off. So I hope you get out there and start it strong. In the D.C. area, we are already into the hot weather, so I'm excited.
All the apartment buildings, by the way, they open their swimming pool on the Memorial Day weekend.
That's right, and a lot of us have been in the gym for weeks before getting ready for Memorial Day weekend, so we can be ready for the pool.
And one bad thing is that they don't start air conditioning till after Memorial Day, you know. So it's one of those weeks you actually enjoy the heat and the sun. And I want to tell you, there are people in California that miss that East Coast in summer because it actually get hot, whereas in California, a place like San Francisco, it's warm in the daytime and it's cold still in the evening. So you never really get the hot sun of East. So we are lucky, I guess.
Yeah, we also don't get the wine that produces, which is the perfect weather for wine.
Lately you may have seen a tremendous number of stories on Indian Americans, and most of them are now very good. Remember back in 94, 95, 96, 97, there was a term that was called Indian Mafia.
Whoa.
No. It was a good, endearing term. It was the Indian Americans that were opening companies, the software companies, the internet companies. I mean, they were there. They were in the news every single day.
Right. We made a big splash in the 90s because there was a tech boom, and there were a lot of people who had a lot of cash at the time.
And they made it big by going to the elite schools in India like IIT or Harvard or Wharton here in the United States. I mean, these are cream de la cream of Indian Americans. Now it appears that some of these elite, the cream de la cream, are in the newspapers for all the wrong reasons.
You know, there's that tipping point. Remember a book came out by Malcolm Gladwell, right? It talks about a tipping point. I think that concept applies to everything, and including success. You get to a certain point at which you keep that reputation, you build, you grow on it, and then something happens along the way and you cross over that tipping point. I feel like that's where we are now with success in our community.
That's true. You know, Rajaratnam, by the way, he's not an Indian American. He is from Sri Lanka. He became a billionaire, and now he's guilty, according to the jury in Manhattan, that says that he did use the insider tips, which he was getting from a lot of these folks. One of the people that is amazing to see is Rajat Gupta. I just can't get over it. You know, look at what they have given him, shattered an image, because that's what he has lost. He has lost it big time. His case has not started. It is going to be an administrative case, and it's going to be here in July. I believe it's going to be in Washington, D.C., and I'm going to go there. Because I want to tell you, some of these lawsuits, and I've been to one, they're very interesting.
Well, there's a lot to learn from them also, I think. Yeah. You know, when you see what people tried, attempted, failed, maybe they did it knowingly, maybe they did it unknowingly, but regardless, they're paying the price. And you're watching the system at work take advantage of the facts against them to build a case. When you're there, you really see it is a chess game between the prosecution and the defense. So this should be very interesting to watch.
Both sides tell a story. But Rajat Gupta, you know, it's just totally surprising. He was making as much as $5 to $10 million a year as the partner at McKinsey. But according to Rajaratnam, he wanted to hang out with the billionaires and not with the centurion millionaires. Not only him, by the way. There were so many Indian Americans that were caught in the Rajaratnam case. They all met at Wharton or Harvard or the other places, and they kept in touch by talking about each other's company secrets and all of that. Well, it's all illegal.
I don't know why they didn't think they would be caught, or why they thought they were above it all, or how the word wouldn't get out that these kinds of conversations were happening. That's the part that amazes me. It's as if the people in this ring thought they were invincible.
Yeah, but let me ask you a direct question. How did this affect you? How do you feel being an Indian American? How do you feel when you see these people are sullying the reputation of honest people like you and I?
I tell you what it makes me feel. It makes me feel like someone punched me in the gut. And here's why. you wake up and you read stories about the corruption in India and how so much of the Indian American community that lives here is trying not to let that kind of corruptive practice or perception.
They laugh at it.
They laugh at it. We laugh at it sitting here. But the reality is those perceptions can cross the borders, and all of a sudden they can be applied to the community at large here, many of whom are doing good and positive things. So when you have a bad egg or you have a bad situation like this, it reflects on us here on these shores. And then you read the associated things happening with the Indian corruption scandals that are erupting, and you somehow feel like, wait a minute, we have earned this reputation and we could lose it in a second.
We are losing it. That's how I feel, because I remember when Indian Mafia term was used with endearment. Today, the Indian Mafia term is not used as an endearment.
Well, you think about the number of scandals. You have this one. You have locally the Vijay Taneja scandal. And you have even the Jack Johnson scandal, which, you know, in some ways touches our community too. But we have a choice, folks. We have a choice to go in this kind of direction where we take our money, power, greed, and in our vanity, get ourselves associated in these kinds of things.
They're not all like this. They're just a few of them. And there few of them are enough to sully the reputation of all of us.
I also think that when news stories like this happen, the Indian community tends to shrink back because we don't quite know what to do. It's like caught in headlights, right? All of a sudden, people that you've admired and people you've met, pillars of the community are going down, and all of us tend to kind of shrink back in our houses and our holes to see what happens next. But I think what we need to do is actually collectively say this is wrong and let people out there know, hey, look, the Indian community does not stand behind these kind of actions. We do not like this kind of behavior from our senior elders in the community. We have to find our voice, and somehow it needs to occur collectively so that we don't come off looking terrible with this kind of light shed on us.
You know, I know so many of these leaders, but none of them have come forward to sort of condemn this. You know, and their silence seems to carry the image that they're condoning it, you know.
That's the
problem. I feel like that's what they need to stop.
I couldn't agree more. Well, unfortunately, sticking with this theme, you know, money, power, greed seems to be everywhere in our news these days, including what has happened to the former chief of the IMF, Dominique Strauss-Kahn. You have Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's a common theme here with powerful men. I mean, you remember last year, the big